Hey, it's your girl Carmelle Jean-Francois, owner and founder and CEO of cFIT Coaching. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another installment of the Sugar Savvy Solution, acclimating the foodie in you to a life beyond sugar. A couple of months ago, I was interviewed by my mentor, my coach, my teacher, none other than Lisa A. Smith. She's the owner and founder of the Black Health Academy and the Plant Protocol, which is a nutrition-based business program, the first and only established and founded by a Black woman. So needless to say, it was very exciting to work with her, and it was very exciting to learn from her. She is a powerhouse. And if any of you know who I'm talking about, you know that I'm telling the truth. Lisa's also the founder of Clarity. Now, some of you might have heard me mention Clarity on this channel before. Clarity is a community dedicated to the elimination of chronic stress for leaders, entrepreneurs, and organizations. And I'm so happy to be working with her inside the community, along with a couple of other coaches that were my peers as we were taking the program. But let's get back to this interview that I told you about earlier. Lisa actually interviewed me how I came to be so savvy about my sugar. And she asked me some questions, and I went in a little bit deeper than I have before. So I urge you to listen to this story, listen to the interview. It's lots of fun, lots of energy. She actually recorded it on the last day of her sugar-free challenge prep. She had a sugar-free challenge, and this was the prep, the mindset prep that she was taking her participants through in order to get them ready for that 30-day challenge. It was a huge, huge success. I'm gonna link Lisa's channel, her YouTube channel, in the description so that you can have a quick reference to who she is, what she's about, the Plant Protocol, and of course, Clarity, which is the community that I'll be working with Lisa in. So without anything further, please enjoy the interview.
Coach Carmelle this evening or today, depending on what time it is for you. So let me tell you why I invited Coach Carmelle up, because Coach Carmelle is a plant-based fitness and nutrition coach. She has her own company. She has her own coaching program. She got certified in plant-based nutrition through us here at the Plant Protocol. She's been with me, rocking with me for some time now. Carmelle, has it been a year or two? I think that you've been in the Plant Protocol Community and Business Accelerator too. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
And let me tell you guys something. Carmelle is a superstar. She has done such a phenomenal job of building her own following, her own ecosystem, her own program. So much so, she's blessing us tonight from her own retreat that she's currently hosting for women in upstate New York. She's hosting a plant-based retreat currently, and she decided to bless us with 30 minutes of her time while she's hosting her own plant-based retreat. I am just so proud of you, Carmelle. So first of all, welcome to the front row VIP class. How are you today?
I am so good, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you for that amazing intro, and thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So I know you got a solid 30 or less, so let's get straight into it. Carmelle, tell them why I asked you on today. When our students come into the Plant Protocol Business Accelerator, we have them select a specialization for their coaching business. Talk to them about the specialization you selected and why.
I selected sugar addiction, and I selected it for a few reasons, Lisa, and everybody listening. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for listening to what I have to say. And the few reasons why I chose it is because as I was discussing with Lisa what my specialization would be, I knew that I had been addicted to sugar. I knew I was addicted to sugar, and I didn't even realize it was a problem at first until it became a problem. And looking like I do now, I came up as pre-diabetic. And so I was just like, okay, let's make some changes. Let's make some shifts. And that's when whole food plant-based came into my life. But talking to Lisa that day, I unpacked a few other reasons why I knew that my sugar addiction was the cause and the problem of so many other things that was going on in my life. Number one, I lost my mother 3 years ago today, Lisa. 3 years ago today, my mother passed away from having suffered with Alzheimer's dementia for 15 years of her life. And number two, my father was diagnosed as a diabetic, full-blown diabetic, my father. And the conversation in my house was kind of like, oh, dad is a diabetic. He has to change the way he eats. This was a few decades ago when type 2 diabetes was considered adult onset diabetes. It is no longer referred to as adult onset diabetes because children are getting it. Mm-hmm. So just as quickly as my father was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, adult onset diabetic, he reversed it. Mm-hmm. He was that adamant in doing it. And I was a child. So the conversation was running around in the house and then it wasn't. And I didn't know that was a big deal at the time until I got older and people are talking about type 2 diabetes. I'm on medication for the rest of my life. And I'm like, you know, that's not a life sentence, right? You know, you could beat it, right? And people are looking at me like I had two heads. I'm like, dad had it. And then he didn't because he did things not to. Like he practiced radical obedience simply because he had a family. He had to take, there's three of us. He had to put all three of us through Catholic high school, Catholic grade school, high school, and then we all had to go to college. He was paying for a house. He had family. He had things to take care of. He had no time to be sick. He was a New York City cab driver. When was he going to find the time to pull over and inject some insulin? He wasn't. He wasn't going to find that time.
He was on assignment.
He was on assignment.
Yeah. That's good. So Carmelle, yes. So what a beautiful, beautiful way to honor your mother on today by, first of all, being at your own retreat where you'll be pouring into women over the next several days about their health, taking time out to bless our challengers. What a beautiful way to honor her. So thank you for doing this work. Talk to us, go back to for a second when you said you were diagnosed, you were small yourself, right? You weren't overweight. But your sugar consumption was so much so that it ended up in a diagnosis. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I knew that I was addicted to sugar, but it was a joke to me, Lisa, because I look the way that I look. And at the time I was coaching other people on how to manage their sugar addiction. There's the irony and there's the lack of integrity, so to speak, because my clients didn't look like me. My clients were overweight. So I was like, okay, you have a sugar problem. You need to take care of it. And here I was in a hypocritical kind of a way, but not really thinking anything was wrong with it because I was walking around. I had little muscle cuts here, until I was diagnosed, Lisa. And when I was diagnosed, I wasn't very surprised, but I was like, oh, heck no. This is not going to be my downfall. And so I made a radical change. I went whole food plant-based overnight, and for curiosity, more so thinking that this was going to reverse my my pre-diabetic diagnosis. And in 2 weeks' time, when I visited the doctor after having taken a sonogram in the interim and more blood tests in the interim, she said, I don't understand what happened. And I said, I went whole food plant-based. There was silence. And then there was like, okay, so I'll see you in the next appointment. My A1C had reduced so much that I was no longer pre-diabetic and she no longer considered me having a problem.
Wow. Okay. Tell us the story. You have this super cool story that I want you to briefly share with everyone, Carmelle, about the coffee and adding the sugars to your coffee. Because make it plain for us. Like, explain to us what was your exact habits with sugar so they can understand how bad it had gotten.
I love my coffee, Lisa. I love my coffee. And until I became whole food plant-based, I realized that it wasn't the coffee that I loved. It was the whole milk and the tons and tons of sugar I was putting in it with the splash of coffee that I love so much. And I need everybody to understand that I own my own brick and mortar business in a completely different field. I have a staff of people in my office. I would consume so much sugar that I took the packets of sugar that I used and put it in my pocket because I didn't want anybody else to know how much sugar I was consuming with my coffee. And I had two, sometimes 3 cups of coffee a day because I was craving the coffee. I wasn't craving the coffee. I was craving the sugar because when I went whole food plant-based, I consumed so many nutrients and so many minerals in my body. I was hyper nutrition focused that I didn't even miss the coffee. I didn't even miss the sugar. And then when I figured out what was going on, I didn't even crave coffee anymore. I even tried coffee with other things. I tried coffee with oat milk, coconut milk, almond milk, no sugar. Maybe even I didn't even touch the blue and pink packets. I didn't even touch those anymore. But I realized that no, it wasn't coffee that I was craving. It was the sugar I was craving. Yes. But I hid the sugar packets from the people around me so that nobody knew. Not that I thought that they would judge me. I didn't even think that they cared, but it mattered to me.
Yeah, this is so, so important because when I teach the 3 indicators that you might have an issue with a substance, one of them is guilt and or shame. Right. And so when we are exhibiting behaviors such as hiding sugar packets so people won't see how much we're consuming, that might be an indicator that we need to give this way more attention than we thought. So thank you for sharing that. So before we get into the how do we do this and all the things that you teach your students in your program about giving up sugar, I want to ask you one more question and one more thing that I would love for you to share. You and I talked about it. So first of all, guys, Carmelle is based in New York. And I was in Jersey this past weekend for a speaking engagement. So I reached out to Coach Carmelle and I was like, yo, super last minute. I'm like, what you doing tonight? You want to meet up for dinner? And we did. And we had a great conversation. And she said she was willing to share the story that she's about to share with you right now. So she's already talked about the pre-diabetic diagnosis. But Carmelle, your attachment to sugar had gotten so bad that it led to something else. Talk to us about that.
So Lisa, I had already gotten rid of some sugar cravings, and it's true what you said. You said, "This doesn't mean that you're not going to have a sweet tooth, right?" So I tell everybody, sugar still calls my name, but it's not screaming at me anymore. It whispers. Now I'm on the other side of that. So when it whispers, I can ignore it, and I can even sometimes answer the call. And I'll be good. I'll have a bite of something. I'll be like, I'm good now. But a few months after I first became whole food plant-based and I got rid of my sugar habit, let's call that, sugar started whispering my name and the whispers got louder and louder and I started answering. And I found myself in a very, in a place of vulnerability and depression, and I started using sugar again. This time, the sugar got so bad because I had stepped away from the assignment. I had stepped away from my radical obedience. It got so bad, God said, oh, she didn't listen the first time. Let's give her something else. And onset of candida. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yeast infection. And Lisa, I told you that I have not even really shared this with my personal community because there's shame around that, right? That's you, like you, what's going on? Ew. So when it first came, I said, no big deal. I'm going to go to my GYN, get myself some antibiotics. And I did. I got a first round. I got a second round. I got a 5th round. I got an 8th round. It was ongoing for months and months and months. And I said, wow, how is this really happening to me? At about month 7, month 8, yes, I said month 7, month 8 of chronic yeast infections, I would go to the GYN and they'd be like, here she go again. Hey girl, how you feeling? They felt bad for me. And I just kept coming back. Conventional medication was not getting rid of this infection. I looked up what I found to be the anti-candida diet. And when I saw all the restrictions, mind you, I'm already whole food plant-based. When I saw all the restrictions, I said, oh, heck no. Let me see if these antibiotics are going to work one final time. And it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. And what I did was I eased myself into what they call the anti-candida diet. And basically it was for me to give up anything with starch, with carbohydrates. So that even took away a lot of my plant foods. I was allowed things like quinoa, tofu. I was allowed leafy greens. So for the next 6 to 8 weeks, that's all I did. No sweet potatoes. No, I was allowed berries. I was allowed blueberries, blackberries. Berries were good, but I couldn't do banana. I couldn't do an apple. I couldn't do a lot of vegetables because a lot of vegetables are carbohydrates based. And you know what, Lisa? It was easier than I thought. I was so scared. I was so scared of missing all the foods that I was used to consuming. But once, number one, I was fed up. My back was against the wall. Number two, I was already primed because I was whole food plant-based. And as long as I knew the foods that was on the to eat list, let me stick to this. Let me satiate my body and everything, what my body needed with this, because it was enough. It was enough. I stuck to it for about 6 weeks and I said, oof, I'm feeling some relief. And I said, shh, let's just tread along, keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was really gone, Lisa. In about 4 weeks, it was really gone. But I continued it for about 4 more weeks, just so that it would not represent itself.
Yes.
And after that, it never presented itself again to me. After that, the GYN's office never saw me again. And it's been now about 13, 14 months, and I have not had a reoccurrence. And I have reintroduced the bananas and the sweet potatoes, and all of that is back in my life.
Come on now. Like, if you just want to be able to tell your doctor, lose my number, put me in the chat real quick. For we're like, that's to be on the goal list. Lose my number. I'm sick of seeing you. I'm sick of you recommending stuff to me. I'm ready to be done with this condition, right? Lose my number. Hashtag lose my number, doc. Okay. So, Carmelle, because I know you got to get back to your retreat. So in this last 15 minutes or so, I would love for you to answer some questions about how to make this happen. So first of all, thank you for your willingness to share that story about the recurring yeast infections and candida, and trying antibiotics for so long, which, by the way, long-term use of antibiotics can really do damage to our gut health, right? So I'm so glad that you finally was like, okay, I got to try something different. Super proud of you for that. So now let's talk about what you've seen as a coach, and then even in your personal experience, how you've done this. First question, because you mentioned a little bit about depression early on. How do emotional triggers play a role in sugar cravings, and how can we start untangling that connection? Because it's not just a matter of, I need to have willpower.
Oh, no, it's not willpower. It's really, it takes a certain amount of emotional intelligence for us to realize what's happening. And when I realized what was happening, I still went with it, Lisa. And, it was my back being against the wall that really said, Carmelle, we have to separate the two. Mm-hmm. And so what I did, I remember that summer, every time I felt the desire to go ahead and consume sugars, I would eat something else, like my dark leafy greens. I would satisfy not the sweet tooth, but my urge to just answer that call. It was a call, and it goes away. It goes away if I give it a chance to go away. So if I wasn't going to sit and try to power through it, I literally would go eat something else. I would eat nuts, make myself a salad, right? Have popcorn. I would eat something else. And then before I knew it, I didn't even crave anything. And it wasn't so much the sweet tooth. It was just kind of like, and mind you, everything that I mentioned has a level of sugar in it, has a level of carbohydrates in it. So my mouth wanted to taste the sweetness, but my body just wanted, hey, like I was still very active. We just want some glucose. We just want some energy in our cells right now. So I feel like that was one way that I was able to distinguish what was happening and separate the two. And I also knew what my triggers were. Every time I passed by that dollar store with that cheap candy, that cheap sugar inside, I'd be like, ooh, I could get a fix right now for 5 cents. Easy. Easy. And so what did I do? I identified that that was a trigger, and I would either walk past it or take another route. Just don't go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's a dealer on every corner.
Right. And because even when I think about that store, I'm like, oh, quick fix. Remove myself from the vicinity. And it's not possible for everybody, but.
Right. You mean changing the environment is not possible for everybody? Yeah,
changing the environment.
Correct. Because some of us go into offices where it's just right there. They bring it in. And so to your point of we need to improve our emotional intelligence so we can control ourselves around it as opposed to hoping that we wake up one day and the temptation isn't there.
Right. You can't hope it away.
Right. You can't hope it away. But I want to make sure we emphasize the fact to everyone today of how much emotional intelligence plays a role in our ability to abstain from anything that's doing damage to us. Like you said, when I got the craving, I will wait because it's going to go away. Right. So you outlasted the craving. You might have decided to eat something just so you can satisfy that desire to eat something, but you outlasted the craving. So I love a saying like emotions make a great slave, but a horrible master. Right. And so we can't let our emotions be in control of us. So, okay. So Carmelle, now, this challenge, we're starting July 1 and my protocol, like it's clean cut. Right? We don't tracate. We don't moderate it down. We've like no sugar right now. So in your experience, what are the biggest mistakes people make when they quit sugar cold turkey?
When they quit cold turkey?
Yes.
They just keep it around in the house. I feel like that's one thing. When they quit cold turkey, they almost give themselves permission to go back because, I've been doing so good for X amount of days. Like I'm good now. Mm-hmm. I feel like the only way to do it is to quit cold turkey, but something in there. And most folks, when I find that they do quit cold turkey, they find the people, even the support system around them saying, well, you're good. You've been good for 3 days. So you can just go ahead and have that. The worst thing they could do is go ahead and have that. Because that's just going to reestablish that trigger. It's going to reestablish that want, the heavy cravings. And that's no bueno. That's not going to be good in the long term at all. It just it just delays the time in which you need to heal.
Yeah, 100%. And I told them before you came on, one of the misconceptions about a no sugar lifestyle is that no sugar equals nothing sweet. Right. And so I think one of the things that could really give us some relief when our mind panics and thinking about no sugar is that, oh, I'm just not eating refined sugar. It doesn't mean that I'm not eating anything sweet, right? And so when we have our dried fruit, when we make our banana bread with those really ripe bananas, when we can still have cakey textured things. We can still have different things that you can put date syrup inside of your salad dressing instead of using the salad dressings to have all the refined stuff. So now that we know that no sugar doesn't mean nothing sweet. It just means no refined sugar, the disease promoting stuff. Right. And so I'm so glad that you said that cold turkey, most of us are waiting for the day that whatever our agreed upon time frame is, we're waiting for that day. We're waiting for day 31 after the challenge.
Right.
Right. And so we detox just to retox, which is insane, but it's what addiction does. Right? Like, okay, I just got to go get through this period that I've committed to, and then I'm going to return to the stuff that was making me ill. Okay. So Carmelle, what 2 questions? Number one, What can people typically expect in maybe that first 7 to 10 days when they start eliminating sugar? Talk to us about maybe some withdrawal, some detox, maybe some things that happens mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, so I remember I went through the lethargy. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And I at the time I didn't realize that it was the sugar detox. I thought that I'm just not eating as much as I used to eat. But like after detox, having to go through the detox again, I realized that there is some lethargy that comes along with it. You're feeling lethargic throughout the day. You're feeling a little tired, and you think about it and you want to go for it, right? I feel like most of us don't even give ourselves enough time to suffer with cravings. The second we want something, we just go and satisfy that craving. So we don't even know what that detox looks like or feels like because we don't give ourselves a chance. It's just too painful. But one thing is to, like I said before, either sit through it, um, eat something else, make sure that that craving, that call goes away. But some of the things that we can experience headaches, we can experience sweats. It is truly, truly a detox.
Yes.
And basically that's what I went through, and that's what I've heard some of my clients even describe. Like I was feeling really, really tired, and I'm experiencing headaches. Those were the two big things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So I've mentioned some of my favorite meals when I have a sweet tooth, my smoothies, my acai bowl, my nice cream, my little date bites with the nuts and the peanut butter and the unsweetened chocolate. We got some stuff. What's some of yours? Like, what's your go-to if you have a sweet tooth?
I have two things that just popped into mind when you were saying that. And the other day, I even posted it on my YouTube. It's a banana split, and pretty much split the banana open, throw on some peanut butter, throw on some cacao powder, and it called for yogurt. The recipe that I went by called for yogurt. I said, no, we're not messing with that yogurt. What I did was I blended a thick protein smoothie with tofu and put some cacao in there. So it was a cacao tofu smoothie, real thick, like a yogurt consistency. And I put it right there on top with some cinnamon powder and a little sprinkle of maple syrup. Ooh, with the coconut chips, coconut flakes. And I feel like I put something else in there, walnuts, blueberries. And I warmed up my blueberries. I poured it right on top. It was a syrupy mess it just went down so good. That's one. Another thing is my chia seed pudding. I call it my apple pie chia seed pudding. I do a chia seed, you put the chia seeds in there and almost the same ingredients. My cinnamon, because we do lots of cinnamon in my house. We do the cinnamon. I put in some apples because now the cinnamon brings out the apples. I even put some nutmeg in there, almond extract or vanilla extract. And we shake that thing up real good. And I also put walnuts in there. Walnuts is good for the brain. Shake that thing up, let it sit in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. It's nice and thick. I call it my apple pie chia seed pudding. That's exactly what I call it. It's on my YouTube channel as well.
Child, did you do a video about it on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Oh, send me that link when you get a chance so I can share it with the VIPers.
Oh, I certainly will.
Okay. Yeah, the front row needs that recipe.
Okay.
Listen, this is amazing. Okay. So, all right, final question so you can get back to your retreat. This is so amazing. I'm so excited.
I'm having fun.
I ain't never heated up blueberries. I ain't even think about that. Y'all be cooking. I'm too minimalist in the kitchen. I forgot you can saute, make your own syrup with the fruit.
You really can. It don't take but 2 minutes on the stovetop. Real easy to clean because whole food plant-based is real easy to clean when we're not cooking with salt, oil, and sugar. Just rinse that baby out, and we're done.
Look, Carmelle, I don't even use dish liquid on my pots. I can just rinse them out because I don't want the dish. Yeah, I don't want the dish liquid over time. I want the chemicals on my nice pots, and so I just rinse my pot out. I'm like, I don't cook meat or raw anything. Like it's just fruits and vegetables all the time that I'm cooking. So listen, and you know what's so dope about this, y'all listening? Is our summer challenge means everything in season. The berries are in season. The watermelon is in season. Carmelle, yesterday I bought a yellow seeded watermelon. Child, Take me to the king. It was so good, honey. I bought a black diamond watermelon. I bought a yellow watermelon. Like, it was so yummy. And so we're doing this challenge. Our summer challenge is always dope because of all the fruit that's in. See, so the apples are sweeter, the oranges are sweeter, the
everything.
berries are ripe. Like, y'all can hook this stuff up. I want y'all to know there's hope. We're gonna have a good time. Okay, final. I think I got two more, Carmelle. The first one is if somebody falls off, let's be realistic, okay?
Yeah.
How can someone bounce back after falling off the no sugar wagon, kind of without spiraling into guilt or giving up?
Get right back on. What's the problem? I have sugar today. The next hour, the very next minute, I can make that decision. Just get back on. Well, guilt, shame, those are useless emotions. They serve no one. They serve no one. Admit what you did, brush it off your shoulder, and say, let's get back to work. Because I have my kids to play with. I got grandkids to play with. I need to be around. I have to make sure that I get my work done. What did God send me here for? I have to get that work done. What are we messing around with? Guilty, shame. Oh, I messed up. Let me just start next month. No, you start the very next minute.
Yes. Now I'm going to do Lisa's next challenge in January. I'll just do the next challenge.
Yeah. For what? Listen, you fall off that wagon. Enjoy whatever you ate. Enjoy it. Praise the Lord. That was good. Time to get back on track.
Amen. So you get up, you fall off, you get right back on.
Get right back on.
And you talking my language, honey, because you said, think about the assignment. Is it my babies? Is it this business I'm starting? Like, what's the assignment, guys? I don't eat sugar because I'm unwell. I don't not eat sugar because I'm overweight. I don't eat sugar for what I'm doing right now. I got to be sharp when I host events like this. I got to be sharp if I'm going to teach y'all the entire month of July. I got to have energy. I got to have recall when y'all ask me science-based questions. Your assignment requires your mind to the most optimal version of you. So Carmelle just articulated that beautiful last question, Carmelle, and this is about transformation. What is the biggest transformation you've witnessed in someone who kicked their sugar habit?
Ooh, number one, like weight loss, but it was more than that. Lisa, you always talk about the clarity of mind. I had one of my clients say, oh my God, everything's so much clearer. Not only that, she was elated. She's like, I'm sleeping better. And I didn't even realize it. Okay, you know what? She was a great example. And I mostly work with women. But now that I'm saying that, there was one gentleman that I work with that he said he was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic, but he was a high pre-diabetic, meaning next week could have been his day to be completely full-blown type 2 diabetes. Mm-hmm. He came to me, and within 3 months of working with him, he said, he left me a testimonial on my YouTube. He says, Carmelle, I came to you to lower my A1C and quit sugar. And that happened. He said, but I did not anticipate that I'd be breathing better. I didn't anticipate that I'd be sleeping better. I didn't anticipate that my joints would feel better. I didn't anticipate that I lost 12 or 15 pounds. He was like, and then he repeated, he's like, 12 pounds. He's like, I didn't come to you for that, Carmelle. I came to you for my sugar, and I got all of that along with it.
Listen, let's make that the new side effects. You hear me?
How about it?
Hashtag new side effects. Okay. Lisa, I didn't come to this challenge for this, but I can't believe I launched my business. I'm writing my book. I didn't even want to do all this, Lisa. This just came with it. Come on, new side effects. That is just so amazing. People need to understand that this stuff will take you out. And everything you just said, was inflammation reducing in his body.
Yeah.
Right. The joint pain, the breathing better, everything opening up. I just don't think we understand a lot of times, especially for us ladies, sometimes we're looking at that waistline. We're like, and so we're so typically so focused on one particular goal that we have that we don't realize there's so many other phenomenal side effects. So he was like, I was focusing on A1C, but as a result, my sleep, my breathing, the joint pain, the weight loss. Like there's so much magic that happens when we take inflammatory foods out of our diet, and sugar is so doggone inflammatory. Okay, Carmelle, I'm going to let you go, but give us whatever final words you have. And don't forget to send me the link to your YouTube episode where you're making your dessert. I'm going to send it to everybody so they can subscribe to your YouTube channel and everything and follow you, get in your ecosystem. But what would be your biggest takeaway for people? This is our front row, our VIPers. They are about to kick off the challenge next week. We've provided them recipes in their VIP portal. Some of them are nervous AF. What would be your advice to them?
It's not hard. Make a decision. Make the decision and go all in. The recipes that you're going to get and the recipes that are all over the internet, that spend some time. You're making a commitment. What are you devoted to? Are you, like you say you're devoted to your health? Act like it. Act like it and just do it. Just do it. All the recipes that you have, it's for, I like the term hypernutrition. You put all those nutrients in your body will be satiated. You won't hear those cravings as loudly as you did before. We want to quiet those cravings. And giving yourself all the nutrients that your body needs will quiet those cravings. Surround yourself with the support system, not the people that say you've been doing good for 3 days. Just have something, or you don't do this every day. Surround yourself with your cheerleaders. Surround yourself with the people that you know that are rooting for you and say, you said that you weren't going to do this for 30 days plus. So could you just put that Snickers down for me, please? Just not do that. That's who you need to surround yourself with, and stay in this community. Stay in this community so that you see other people are going through what you're going through. Because when you're looking at the world and the world is enjoying shit food, excuse my language, you feel like you're missing out. No. Be in the community where you feel like when you're eating sugar, you're missing out. You're missing out on the good stuff. You're missing out on the energy. You're missing out on the clarity. You're missing out on the lack of joint pain and lack of inflammation. That's my final word to everybody.
Listen, can I get one person to raise their hand and share with Carmelle what your biggest takeaway was? Let her know that she made a difference today. Can we get at least one person? Because y'all know there's a fee for, they're like, we pour this much. We want to know that we gave something to y'all that y'all really needed. So is there anybody who's willing to share what resonated with them the most throughout this conversation before Coach Carmelle hops off? Come on in, Wanda.
Just do it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, that's it. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Carmelle, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
you, Wanda. Thank you.
Wishing you a super successful retreat. Can't wait to hear how it went during our next live class in the Business Accelerator. Talk to you soon.
So I thought that I was going to cringe when I heard myself talk about some of the things that I went through being addicted to sugar, but I think it was okay. Y'all let me know. Put down in the comments if you're a little surprised to hear about the things that I mentioned, or if you yourself went through something similar. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Meanwhile, I'm Carmelle Jean-Francois. I am your plant-based fitness and nutrition sugar-free coach. And I just want you to be savvy about your sugar. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Ciao, ciao.